Welcome back to La Paz Bound. So let's get into why we're giving up our beloved 2021 Mercedes GLA. So I want to preface this video by saying that my husband and I, we don't come from wealth, quite the opposite actually. And because of how we were both raised, we know how to be frugal and scrappy when we need to be. For instance, I shop at Aldi instead of Publix. I use coupons, I use cashback apps, I fly economy, and I buy things that are used and on sale. And where we would have used help in our earlier years is understanding the impact of debt and investing. Had we been taught that at an early age, we definitely could have made better financial decisions. And it may have shed light on keeping up with the Joneses, that it isn't as important as investing in our future. So we understand for this next chapter in our lives, living in Mexico, that we need to change our mindsets and we need to relinquish some of our material possessions. Number one, our GLA is not big enough for our move to Mexico. So some people sell all of their possessions before moving abroad, and we don't want to do that. We have hobbies that we want to do when we retire that we're not able to fully commit to and enjoy while we still have our jobs. I love to cook, and I have a nice cookbook collection, and I want to slow down and take my time exploring recipes and creating familiar foods, as well as learning how to create new recipes in my new homeland. And my husband, Don, he loves creating art with his Glowforge. He's created a lot of cool ornaments and signs, record holders, and other cool stuff for family members, but he'd love to have the time to do more and possibly turn it into a business. He also loves to play the guitar, keyboard, and other instruments, and he wants the time to do that. And my husband loves to read and has a wall full in his office of books. So he'll have to pare down, of course, but he still would like to take a box or two of books on art and music. We also have desktop computers and laptops and monitors and a couple of TVs that we'd like to bring. And there's going to be some food items that I may not be able to get in Mexico. And after our exploratory trip in March, I'll know what items I want to box up, like my favorite pancake mix, coffee, barbecue sauce, things from Trader Joe's, just some things to help us through our first 6 months or year in Mexico. There's also kitchen appliances that I don't want to have to repurchase, like our coffee maker, our espresso maker, and if there's room, my stand mixer that I use for cookies and tiramisu. I also have perfumes and hair products I might not be able to find in Mexico that I want to bring. And of course, our clothes, our shoes, handbags, plus any small household goods that are sentimental to us. And then there's our pets, whose crates and carriers will take up an entire back seat, not to mention their food, their litter, their portable litter boxes. Number two, the GLA, she fancy. Let's face it, it doesn't matter what model of Mercedes you pull up in, people make assumptions about you and your lifestyle. It doesn't matter that we started working young and for minimum wage, and that over the last 30 to 40 years, we have worked our way up the corporate ladder to better paying positions. People in the United States judge you based on your outwardly appearance, what you wear, what you carry, what you drive, and where you live. We will be driving from Florida to California and then down the length of Baja California Peninsula. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves in a flashy car. There's a chance that we could get stopped and we need to negotiate our way out of a ticket. And we hope that this doesn't happen. You know, we'll be purchasing a dash cam to help if we get caught in that scenario. Number three, the GLA is expensive to maintain and service. So just a couple of days ago, I had my annual B service done at Mercedes, along with them installing a new pair of wiper blades. My total bill was over $600 for an oil change, a diagnostics test, and wiper blades. And they threw in the rotation, the tire rotation. Number four, if something goes wrong with the GLA, will we be able to get service and parts in La Paz? I know there's a Mercedes dealership in La Paz, but I'm not sure what their turnaround time is for service and if we can get the parts and when we can get the parts. We only have one car now, and it'll stay that way when we move to Mexico. We need to be back up and running if something were to happen to our vehicle. Number five, something could go wrong as we travel on the roads in Mexico. Between the crater-sized potholes that are indicated by someone spray painting around where they are and speed bumps that come out of nowhere to stop signs that are just suggestions. With us being on a fixed budget while living in Mexico, a bougie car is just not going to cut it. So what car options are we exploring, and do they meet our criteria? So the first option is a minivan. They're definitely big enough, and they usually have third row seating that we could use for extra cargo space. They are comfortable for the long haul. By no means are they flashy. I cannot speak to the maintenance cost and parts, so I don't know if there's any savings there. And I would suspect that it depends on the make and model of the minivan. So here's the clincher. They are too low to the ground. They don't have enough ground clearance if we bottom out, and that could do a lot of damage to the car. So for that reason, we aren't pursuing a minivan. The second option is a transit van. So these vehicles have a lot of cargo room, and all of our stuff would definitely fit. They're a really attractive option for hauling all of the things that we want to take. Comfort, I doubt it. These vans are job site vans. They are made to go from workplace to workplace, and a lot of them are set up with equipment racks in the cargo area. They're by no means flashy or bougie, and some transit vans have the cargo area separate from the temperature-controlled driver and passenger area. So our preference is for our pets to arrive alive, so that type of setup wouldn't work for us. And once again, low ground clearance is what is turning us off from transit vans. There are some large SUVs that have the cubic feet that we're looking for. Typically, like the minivans, those have the third row seating that we can use as cargo space. Some of the ones that we're looking at are the Kia Telluride, the Chevy Suburban, that's a beast, Honda Pilot, Jeep Grand Cherokee and Wagoneer, the Ford Expedition, the VW Atlas, the Chevy Traverse and Tahoe, the GMC Yukon, the Lexus GX460, that's too flashy. The Cadillac Escalade, not only is it flashy, but older models are way out of our price range, and the Nissan Armada. Let me know in the comments below if there's other SUVs that you think we should look at. The ones we are leaning towards are the Honda Pilot, the Ford Expedition, and the Nissan Armada. And since La Paz is in a free zone, we don't really have to worry about the age of the car and if the car was assembled or manufactured in North America, although it would be nice as parts would probably be easier to obtain. We did see the Chevy Traverse the other night when we went to dinner. It was pretty low to the ground, so we're not big fans of Chevys and GMCs. My husband has owned a couple of Jeeps, which are cheap to fix, but not entirely comfortable, and some aren't reliable. I've had a few VWs over the years, and they can be pretty expensive to fix. And the last category that we're looking at for our move to Mexico is pickup trucks. They definitely have the ground clearance that we are looking for to handle those craters in the road. Most of them are high enough off the ground, and they're made for pulling large loads and hauling a lot of things. I am concerned about being too high off the ground. My husband's Jeep Wrangler that we sold a year or so ago, it was rather hard for me to get in and out of, and I'm only 5'4". So yeah, that was hard to get in and out of. But we feel pickup trucks would be perfect, not only for our drive to Mexico, but also for the day-to-day driving around La Paz and BCS. We feel they are probably the best vehicles to handle driving on the soft sand beaches without getting stuck. And we can definitely use the truck bed to load up all of our stuff. We would like to find one with a topper That would provide extra security and also be able to have more height for hauling our stuff. Are they flashy? Some of them can be actually. Some of these newer pickup trucks cost upwards of 100 grand, and people are financing them for 7 or more years with car payments equivalent to rent or mortgage payments. And I thought my payment was bad, which it is. So, which pickup trucks are we considering? Toyota is definitely at the top of our list, specifically the Tacoma or the Tundra. They are very well made and they run forever. We're leaning more towards the smaller Tacoma, while a Tundra or Ford F-150 would definitely get us to Mexico with all of our stuff. We also need to think about the day-to-day driving as well. I don't know if I'm comfortable pulling into a parking space in a grocery store in Mexico that a truck barely fits. So the larger pickup trucks may not be ideal once we are in Mexico. Comment below if you have a specific pickup truck preference and why you think it would work for us. We'd love to hear from you. The other two pickups that we are looking at are Nissan Frontiers and Honda Ridgelines. Although how the Honda Ridgeline is shaped in the back, that may not work for us. So there you have it. Hopefully in January, I'll be able to take you along as we try and find the right vehicle for our long haul to Mexico and one that meets our daily needs while also remaining within our budget. Let me know what you recommend in the comments below. Again, I would love to hear from you. Remember to like and subscribe so I can continue to bring you more content about our move to Mexico. And as always, thank you for watching.